Hey guys, what's up, and welcome back to another episode of It's About Everything. So, in today's episode, I'm going to share with you something that I've made long back in 2017, in November 26th, I guess, of 2017, and it's about this DC motor. Now, this DC motor was actually broken, and I've reused some old hard plastic boards and uh, made this DC motor. And as you can see, this DC motor has some of the original components that it used to have, which is the armature and the magnets around it. So the coils are okay and the rotors are almost alright, and the magnets are in pretty good shape. Now by looking at this motor, you can clearly see that it's completely glued together with the hard plastic boards, and you cannot easily open this motor up because from all the directions, if you can see that it's completely glued, and it's been glued with epoxy glue. So if something happens to this motor, then I'm going to open up by breaking, literally breaking the pieces. I had to break open the plastic uh, pieces to open it up. So one benefit about this motor is that it doesn't get heat up as long as I run it, because it's an open armature motor and you can clearly see the armature inside. So if I run it with a 12 volt power supply, then the coils are going to produce some heat, and that heat is going to get easily dissipated from the armature because it's open and air can flow all the way through the motor. Now from the sideways, you can clearly see the commutation and how I have attached the brushes into it. Now the brushes are not made with a quality grade material. It's just a small piece of tin that is sliced, and then I used some epoxy compound, and the most used epoxy compound in India is M-Seal. So, and it's easily available everywhere. It's just 10 rupees, and it's also known as epoxy putty. So epoxy compound and epoxy putty are the same thing. So what I did is I took the slices of metal and I give them bit of a shape, like an angular shape, so that uh, it can move back and forth like a spring. And then I used the epoxy compound to fix it in its place, and it did work for me, because as you can see on your screen there, the motor runs pretty efficiently and the springy action of the metal is quite very effective. Now you can also make this brushes from using metals from AA or AAA battery, because AA or AAA batteries, they have the casing made with metal sheet. So you can open that sheet up, flatten it, and then cut thin strips of that metal and use it. Or you can just use tin plate that is easily available in hardware store, simple tin plate. And after the brushes are made, I had to align the rotor in the middle, because due to the magnetic field, the rotor was constantly sticking to the side of the magnet and I was unable to align it. So what I did is I used patches of paper around around the rotor, and then I inserted the rotor and placed it in the middle by using paper patches, and then I glued with epoxy glue. And after the glue was set, I just pulled out the paper patches and the rotor was nicely and beautifully aligned in the middle. Now it works pretty well, because first of all, there is no bushing. You can see in the front side and the back side there are no bushings or bearings or anything. It's just simple two holes in this hard plastic board, and I had to make these holes pretty precise as far as I can. And as you can see, these holes are not that much big. It's quite the same size as the shaft. I was concerned about one thing, that is heat produced by the motor and melting of this plastic, but actually the motor doesn't heats up, because as it's rotating in the open air, it sort of cools itself, so it does not accumulate that much of heat. And one thing that I just remembered is that the hard plastic material around it is not actually plastic. It's some kind of bakelite type of thing because it doesn't melt. If you heat it up, it will straight away burn and it will turn to ash, but it doesn't melts. I don't know why. Maybe it's made out of wood type of thing, because there is nothing written onto it as bakelite, but it looks like bakelite anyway. So this is how this motor works, and I'm going to give you a test about this motor with a small fan blade that I had from long ago. So this is how the fan works, as you can see, and it blows quite fast compared to the original motor that this armature belongs. So the air that is blown by this motor is quite comparable with the one that is fitted onto a genuine new motor. Anyway, if you want to see the original video where I've made this DC motor, then I will leave a link in the I button in the top right corner, so that you can click there and watch that video. So this was it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, then hit the like button, and if you are new in my channel, then subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends as well. So thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you later. Have a nice day. Bye bye.